This is from Karen. Karen writes, no question. Just want to say that my sleep has improved dramatically in the 2 months that I've been Cellercising. I get a quality of sleep that makes me feel so rested when I get up and gives me energy throughout the day, not to mention the countless other benefits I've experienced. I'm so grateful for my Cellerciser, aka Fountain of Youth. You got it, Karen. I agree with you. And thank you for sharing that. Okay. And this one I can relate to, especially right now. As I have said in the past, my progress has been slow, but steady. Went back to my Nia dance classes last Friday and yesterday and felt a significant difference in the way I was able to move, have more stability, stronger muscles around my ankles. I was surprised at how well I did. I did a squat move yesterday that I was unable to do 10 weeks ago. I was amazed. Then he goes on to say, unfortunately, I re-injured my knee that I twisted probably 15 years ago when I was walking my dog. I'm back to doing just health bounces now until my knee feels better. I am now officially really pleased with the progress on my Cellerciser. Thank you, Dave. And thank you for sharing that, because Saturday, we had filled a trash bin full of weeds and it was over the top of the trash bin. So I threw a piece of cardboard up on top and I got on that and I leaped up and onto the cardboard. Little did I know there was no support under it at all. I went straight down into the trash bin and I twisted my knee too. So I can relate. Now I'm doing the exact same thing that I tell other people to do to rebuild my strength of my knee again. And it's stiff today, but I've been working on it quite a bit, and I'll show you some of those techniques in just a moment as well.
Okay.
Come on in, Christine.
Okay.
How you doing, by the way?
I'm doing good.
You're looking good.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing good.
All right.
Okay, so here's our questions. Do you recommend Cellercising on an empty stomach, and are there certain times of the day that are better to bounce than other times?
Good question. Yes, you can always exercise on an empty stomach. If you eat, and I just posted this, by the way, under our FAQs, FAQS section on our website, because people often ask me, how long do you have to wait after a meal to Cellercise? And it's not the amount of time after the meal that counts as much as it is what kind of exercise you do after you've had a big meal. If you have a big meal, it's important to walk around or do something right after the meal. Often we have a great increase in the number of heart attacks that people have after the holidays, where they eat a great big meal and then they go sit down on a couch and all the blood and everything rushes to work on digestion elimination, and there's a higher incidence of heart attacks during the holiday season for those reasons. If you get on a Cellerciser and after a big meal, you just gently rock side to side. Allow the movement to move those digestive enzymes and juices through the food so the body can assimilate it more effectively. A gentle twist, not aggressive, gentle, or just walking in place. Just those movements are great to improve digestion processes. 20 minutes after you've eaten, you can be a little more vigorous on Cellercise. And as far as what was he had another part of that question?
Are there certain times of the day?
Yes, certain times of the day. Always best to begin in the morning, because at nighttime we're not moving around a lot, and because of our environment, conditions, food that we've eaten, when the blood cells become sticky and the lymphatic system's not circulating as efficiently either, the body is not functioning as well when we first wake up in the morning. So we get on the Cellerciser, it's like turning on a car and letting it warm up. We get on the Cellerciser, as we gently move up, we're warming up the body. We're opening up circulatory channels, we're breaking up blood cells, we're stimulating the thyroid and the adrenals and the endocrine system, increasing oxygen, blood flow to the brain. It is the wake-up call. So I believe in the morning is always the most important. And then at nighttime, it's a great way to get rid of the stress and tension. We're going to talk about that in a moment.
All right. I fractured a bone in my foot, rolled it in a sandal. which will heal without surgery in 6 weeks. Will be weight bearing in a week or so. What can I do on the Cellerciser to speed healing without injuring it? And thanks so much for the likes.
Oh, you bet. Okay. About a year ago, I was handling our stand-up forklift, and as I was backing up, I had a bag of heavy-duty springs on the Cellerciser. It was just a bag of springs. And the way that you stop the forklift is to lift your foot up off the accelerator. So I lifted my foot up off the accelerator and I stuck it behind me, and the forklift and pushed my foot right up against the bag of springs, and it broke the what do they call it? I want to call it vestibia. I can't remember what they call that. Up on top of the foot, and I had to go again through the same thing. So gently moving up and down with your foot over the edge is going to increase circulation. And again, doctors know bones and muscles heal faster and grow stronger when exposed to some stress. Again, that's the idea behind the walking cast. So this movement up and down increases circulation. It's also weight bearing to reduce inflammation and promote faster healing. The moment you can get on a Cellerciser, you can lift up and down with this movement here. And it's very, very gentle. Again, consult with your doctor or health practitioner, but this is what I did. And I've done it when I've broken all kinds of things. I remain very active today. So the Cellerciser just helps me repair it, and I'm sure it will do the same for you.
Okay. Can anything be done on the Cellerciser for shin splints?
Yeah. Cellercise exposes weaknesses. It's not jarring, so it's not going to create them, but just rocking side to side is going to actually work this whole area of the body without putting too much stress on it. As we get stronger and the circulation, the inflammation goes down, we feel better, well, then we can start lifting the heels up and down again. And that will start to work that whole area as well. And we just take it into graduated movements until we get to the point where we can do more vigorous aerobic activity.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is off of the particular topics, and she means the ones that we're going to be discussing tonight. Okay. But has Dave ever discussed with us what his diet looks like? So there's been quite a few questions going on about what it is that your typical diet is. Or what it maybe
it could be better, but we're limited in the kind of food we have available to us here. But
Isn't that true?
It's true. It's true. I suggest, and this is what I explain to people, I do avoid more than I used to. But for those of us my age group, we grew up with TV trays, we grew up with chicken pies, we grew up with pizzas, we grew up with a lot, cereals, cold cereals, and I used to put tons of sugar on it. And, thank goodness for Cellercise, because I really, truly, honestly believe that we've survived because of it, or because of that, or in spite of what we've been exposed to. But the Cellerciser does a lot, even if your diet's not perfect, to help flush out the things the body cannot utilize and to be able to absorb the things more effectively that it can. And so one of the things that I share and I try to do regularly is supplement your diet with as many live foods as you can, fruits and vegetables. They have more enzymes. They're easier for the body to be able to digest and utilize. When we're eating too much dead processed foods, then it's harder for the body. And the body has a tendency to store those more effectively because it can't utilize it as effectively. You have to have minerals at the enzymic level to be able to utilize nutrients efficiently. And if they're lacking in the food, the processed foods that we're eating, well, then rather than utilize it, the body's going to have more of a tendency of storing it. So it's... But at the same time, I still enjoy apple pie and yogurt and yogurt ice cream, I guess they call it. But the things that taste good. So moderation. we can always do better. We still want to be able to enjoy a quality of life. And the biggest factor, I think, is don't eat a big meal before bed. Because your body only has two options. It can burn the fuel you feed it, or it can store the fuel you feed it. And if you eat a big meal at night, it's not going to be burning it. So it's going to end up storing it. And if you eat bigger meals in the morning, medium-sized meals in the afternoon, and then lighter meals toward the evening, I've learned to adopt that. And I think that lifestyle change has made a big difference in my diet as well. So.
Thank you. All right, I was wondering if there is a specific movement I could do for lymphedema in my left arm that may help to keep the swelling down.
Okay, movement on a Cellerciser activates the lymphatic system to move fluid through the body. So we know priming the body just with this gentle movement is very effective. Increasing the effectiveness of this by simply lifting the shoulders up and down, you're kind of bending at the elbow, is going to pump the lymphatic system more effectively. As we're pumping with this movement, we can help to reduce that additional fluid.
Okay, so that's going to go into one that's probably similar to it. I had someone reach out to me and tell me that they've been battling pneumonia, and with the steroids have gained a lot of the water weight that comes with that, and is hoping there's something that will help her be able to reduce that water weight.
And again, that movement, but what we would do is we would add a little bit more to it if it's throughout the body, and not as localized, is we're doing the same thing, lifting arms, but we work more with the shoulders and the legs. So now the shoulders and the legs do the pumping. And it may look a little weird, but this movement creates a vacuum system of suction all throughout the lymphatic system. So it's pulling and pushing, and moving that fluid with the movement up and down so that we improve the overall efficiency of that lymphatic.
Okay, and I think this
flush.
goes into the lymphatic as well. So we've
okay.
kind of had a few of those. I started rebounding again a month ago since doing it in the early 80s. I believe I'm experiencing detoxing, and it seems to be aggravating my immune system and causing inflammation. She says that she's very fit and works out on a regular basis, and was wondering if you're familiar with this.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're drinking lots of water, because I don't know what the cause of it is. It could be toxins coming out of tissue of your body. It could be other factors that have built up over a period of time, something you're constantly being exposed to right now. But irrespective, I don't know anything better than just getting on that Cellerciser and constantly doing the movements. But it is important we're drinking a lot of water. Now, some people say, I don't drink a lot of water. They often have those results right there. And I've talked to people who, got a gentleman a friend and a customer of ours who, in the 70s, he was involved with drugs. And he turned his life over to Jesus Christ. And great guy, and now I really respect and admire him. Very, very smart. But when he began, I said, you want to drink a lot of water, because our fat cells have a tendency to accumulate a lot of this metabolic garbage and waste. And all of a sudden we start to move up and down. Well, so do the fat cells. And they're weightless, so they start to release those heavy metals, toxins, poisons, chemicals, preservatives, additives, formaldehydes, all these pesticides, these things that we've been exposed to over the years, or drugs. And I said, so drink lots of water, make it easier for the body to flush it out, because if you don't and you release it back into the system, what's going to happen? It's going to go somewhere else, or you're going to have unfortunate experiences. Well, I talked to him a few weeks later, and his comment to me is, David, I can't Cellercise. I have been so sick. I ache in the morning. I don't want to get up. I'm a mess. And he says, I'm sure Cellercise is great. It's wonderful for other people, but I just can't do it. And I said, okay, what have you been doing on it? And he told me. I said, great. You've been drinking lots of water, right? I don't drink much water. Really? I told you to drink the water. He said, I've never really drunk much water. Okay, would you do me a favor and continue the routine, but drink lots of water anyway? And I explained to him the importance of it. Well, about a month later, I talked to him, and he was raving about it. He actually went through a shingles episode, and he said he went through it so quick, and he attributed it to the Cellerciser. He said his energy was better, he was feeling better. It is now required in his household that all of his kids and his wife, they all Cellercise, because it's made a huge difference in his life. So we do go through a detox process, and we want to make that detox process as effective as we possibly can. I know that drinking lots of good pure water can help the body in that whole cleansing process.
Okay. And I just watched a little comment that came across. Some people are still needing this bar. And so when you were showing how to, the lymphedema, and you're going side by side, how can you do that when you can't let go of the bar? They wanted to see if you could model that and show them how to do that with the bar.
It's a good question. And it's, we call it a balance bar. I'm going to change that. When we don't have real good balance and we're starting, yes, it's a balance bar. But after we have balance, it then becomes a performance bar, literally. It gives you the ability to put more effort into your movements, leverage more body weight without worrying about falling off, so you get better results. So even I use a balance bar all the time. I mean, sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But when I use it, I can put more effort into my routine as well. So in a situation like that, you're going to be moving your shoulders and your waist. Is going to be limited effect on the arms. You can actually push down and up a little bit. But as you're moving, you can kind of lean forward a little bit. You'll find that you put weight on the muscles of the arm. And then you stand up again. And then you lean forward again. And then you stand up again. And as you're twisting, you're moving fluid at the same time. As you lean forward toward that bar, you actually cause the muscles to flex. And as those muscles flex, they help to move more circulation into the lymphatic system to flush it out of those areas of the body. So I hope that helps.
Okay, I had a question that just came across here about the app. Just wondering if the sign up, ordering it and getting the login has been fixed, and it has.
Yeah. Most people are using it. They're using it effectively. They're giving us some great ideas. We're getting some wonderful feedback. I'm glad you brought that up. I wasn't even thinking about that. But the app has been so exciting. We have a lot more that we want to do with it. I'll be meeting with the technicians again next Wednesday as far as some additional things that we want to add to the app. But for all those, again, who are getting the app right now at the pre-launch special, $29.95, you're grandfathered in for the lifetime of your membership, as long as you keep the membership. The normal price will be $49.95. $29.95, that's your, right now, that includes everything every year in perpetuity for as long as we can continue to do this, and I hope that's a long time. So it's something that we think is going to be really beneficial, and it's got a life of its own. So whether you're doing a 2-minute program or you create a 30-minute program, whatever you choose and however you want to adapt it, we're going to work on making that easier to do, but right now it's still available. And thank you for your support and positive input and patience and everything that has happened over the last several years as we've gotten that app going. So it's been really fun seeing it being used now.
Okay, so this question actually is going to lead into what we're going to talk about tonight.
All right.
Okay, so this question is, how does Cellercise manage to help with energy and sleep? Also, is it considered non-inflammatory exercise? Is it gentle for the adrenals? So that's kind of where you're headed a little bit. So there you go.
Absolutely, to all the above. It helps reduce inflammation and creep dramatically. In fact, when I or most people wake up in the morning, if they have a little puffiness around the eyes, you're laying down at night and the body's trying to find its natural equilibrium, and a lot of that fluid goes to the head. And if you're not getting enough circulation, or you have trauma in a certain area of the body or inflammation, it's important, same thing with bone and joint health, it's important to get circulation through the body so that we can help reduce that inflammation. And I don't think there's anything better in the world, personally, than just doing this gentle movement right here. This gentle movement up and down, which is causing millions of one-way valves to create suction, a vacuum system, to pull the circulation through the tissue spaces of the body. As it increases circulation, these one-way valves are opening and shutting, and they're sucking that circulation through the different body parts and functions. And so moving up and down, moving the fingers, moving the body is helping to move that circulation between those bones and joints to help reduce the inflammation and increase the circulation. We increase energy by increasing mitochondria. As we increase the intensity of our workouts on the Cellerciser, then the body is going to start to adapt because of that intensity so that it can respond more effectively the next time that it's challenged. And so the Jamba run and the Jamba walk are excellent routines. It's what I'm working on right now to help build up my knee too. But these movements are just excellent for increasing metabolic processes. Running in place, pumping your arms, lifting your knees up high works the core. Tilting backwards slightly is going to challenge that area more as well. But the whole body collectively is involved. See, it's important we understand that's a difference, a huge difference in Cellercise, is that we're not doing typical calisthenics where we work one area of the body and then another area of the body. We're working the whole body all at the same time without an aerobic impact. There's no jarring. The jarring is what shatters the nervous system, tenses up the body, restricts circulation, and can be damaging accumulatively on the bones and joints. Well, Cellercise eliminates up to 7/8 of the jar. You still have resistance, so the body gets stronger, but you're getting a lot of circulation. Okay, so let's talk about stress and getting rid of it. And let's start from the head down. So we're going to think in terms of the body as parts right now, but the movements treat the body collectively as a whole. So what I mean by that, starting from the top down. We can start off by, and you do techniques like this in meditation, where you tense the entire body, or tense parts of the body up and then relax it. You can start from the forehead down or from the feet up. You tense your feet really, really tight, and then you relax the feet. And then you tense the calf muscles, and then you relax the calf muscles, and you're breathing, and you're really connecting with the body. And in the process of going through that, you can determine often what areas of the body need a little more attention. Well, with Cellercise, that's all incorporated into the movement. So I'm going to take my shoes off.
And someone just asked, should you Cellercise without shoes or with shoes?
Oh, definitely without shoes.
Okay.
Yeah, because, for 99% of the people, because the foot needs to be flexible and shoes are restrictive. And when you're moving up and down with a shoe and your foot can only flex according to the shoe, it can create more foot problems. And we end up, and I've explained this before, people get plantar fasciitis because they wear shoes all the time and then they go out and try to do something strenuous and the foot's lost its flexibility, and so they end up tearing the ligaments, tendons, or connective tissue underneath the foot. So the movement on a Cellerciser, it takes some time, but your foot becomes more flexible over time. And it starts to align not to the shoe, but to your natural balance. And the bones, muscles, and ligaments in the foot can actually move over time to become balanced with more naturally with your body instead of the shoe. So starting off, we tense the entire body up, and you don't move yet, just tense the body. And you can think in terms of your feet and you work your way up your body if you want, but you want to tense the whole body collectively as a whole, everything, shoulders, and then relax and gently move up and down. The body is working collectively as a whole right now. So now it's been tense. Now you want to relax, and you can think in terms of communicating with your body. Start with your face. Is it relaxed? Your shoulders, are they relaxed? Your arms. And work your way down. Your stomach, waist, your buttocks, your legs. And then just After you've done that, you've worked your way down the body, then do some gentle movements to loosen things a little bit more. You can close your eyes, but if you do, it's probably a good idea to keep a finger or two on the balance bar. Because as you get really, really relaxed, and it does, you just become more like Jello. That movement right there helps people. You do that for 2-3 minutes and then go directly to bed. You've released the stress and tension in the body. The body's very relaxed. If it's during the day, you can do something very similar to that. If you have a headache, after you've done that first movement, then you can take your fingers and you can concentrate on that area of the body a little bit. Now, you may find that the headache's gone already, but as you gently tilt and you're doing little circle movements directly where the atlas is and where the skull connects, right up, little circle movements kind of pushing up, you can actually move the neck and the vertebral joints in the neck to loosen up the stress and tension that accumulate there. And you're kind of pushing in back and forth in those vertebral joints. As you're moving up and down, it's moving fluid, and you're helping to push that fluid between those joints to increase the flexibility in the neck. And you can take this to many different levels. You can grab the shoulders and just give them a little squeeze. Feel the little pressure points that can build up tension. That'll be the subject of a new DVD that I do, where we can actually hit pressure points while we're Cellercising to help release that tension more. But Cellercise alone also does it. And if you want to do a little gentle twisting, do a little gentle twisting. And if you've been under a lot of stress, it's important to get the oxygen in there too. So you can end up by doing some of that gentle, deep breathing, and you hear my voice right now. In a moment, my voice is going to change. You'll hear the difference in the quality of the voice too, because it gets rid of the stress of the tension in the voice. Well, if it does it in the voice, you can imagine what it's doing in other parts of the body, which it does also. But it also gets the oxygen to the other 1/3 of the lung that most people don't get enough oxygen to. And our objective, we want to increase that oxygen to the bloodstream so the body can also relax. And metabolic processes do improve though. But it's that simple movement. You see me do it. Now, again, don't do too many of these. I have to say that every time, because for most people, the bronchial tubes and lungs are going to be a little wheezy when you start off, and they can be sensitive. This is a literal exercise for the lungs without having to go out and do a long distance running or swimming. So it goes just like this. And I did that a little bit more than 6 times, but it opens up. It opens up the larynx. It opens up diaphragmatic breathing and increases that oxygen. If you really want to get, I don't know how to put in other terms, a buzz, if you will, an oxygen buzz. It is an oxygen buzz to your brain. You can actually do that same movement, and just be careful you don't get dizzy and that you don't have anything sharp or pointed around the outside, because you can, and you probably will get dizzy doing this, because it's a lot of oxygen that gets to the brain. And that's a movement, feels good, and that oxygen's great, but you don't want to fall off. You do the same movement, you're breathing in and out, but on the 6th breath, you hold it, take a deep breath, hold it, while you still move up and down, pumping with the arms to force that oxygen that you breathe into the bloodstream more efficiently. And it's a technique I designed years ago that I'll tell you the story another time, but it's a great movement. It goes like this. And then I'm going to take a deep breath and hold it. So you need both arms to do that. But when you're done, you may feel a little lightheaded. That's normal. If you close your eyes and do it, it's a good idea to be ready to grab that bar. But that technique is, I don't know, I think we're going to learn about its value even more as more testimonials and more research is done on it. But so those movements just end up when you've gone through the body and you just relax the body, go directly to bed. Don't go get caught up in another activity or something. Just go to bed. And if you have a hard time sleeping at night, get out of bed, get on your Cellerciser, do that technique, and then go directly to bed. It has been, well, it's created wonders for people that have had sleep issues and problems. And I had no idea how many people did until I started teaching that. And then I started getting the feedback. And I look forward to hearing yours.